Here are the game rules for the card game called Pest that can be played with the cards from the Braavalla game. It's a game for 2 to 6 players, but in the following walkthrough, 4 players are playing. Shuffle all the cards from the Braavalla game. Give each player 4 cards. You're not allowed to look at the cards, but simply place them in a line in front of you. During the game, you must collect cards with as little a coin value as possible by swapping cards with cards on the table, and if your memory is good, perhaps you get rid of some of your cards. When you think your cards have a low enough gold coin value to win the game, you then end the game by saying the word Pest. And if you have the lowest value, you win the game, but might risk it all in a last duel. You take turns in swapping one card at a time with a card from the pile. Player 2 starts by picking up a card from the pile. He checks it and decides whether he would like to keep it. If so, he takes one of his own cards and puts it down, forming an open pile of cards next to the first pile. The next player continues the same way. You might put down a card without swapping. In this example, player 2 picks up a queen, which is a card with the coin value 8. Player 2 doesn't want it to be a part of his hand and puts it down. Because of this decision, he does not get the chance to see one of the closed cards. You might also decide not to pick a card from the pile when you swap. Player 2 swaps a card. It turns out to be a thief that is placed on the table. This has a coin value of 0 and is a card that you would like to have. Player 3 then picks it up from the pile of open cards and swaps it with a card of his own. Only the top card from the open card pile can be picked up this way. After a while, when you have a clearer picture of the cards you have at hand, you might be able to play more cards at a time. Player 2 picks up a card that turns out to be an executioner. He chooses to keep it and plays one of his cards on the table. But as it turns out to be another executioner, he may, if he can do it before the next player has started to draw from the pile, play the other executioner he had just picked up. The gold coin card can be played in 2 different ways. Player 4 draws a card, and it turns out to be one with the coin value 2. This player already knows some of his cards. Player 1 draws a card and plays a gold coin card with the number 5. Now, player 4 remembers that he has 2 cards that, when put together, 2 plus 3, will have the sum similar to the number on the gold coin card. He can play both cards at the same time. If he chooses to put the executioner on top, player 2 adds an executioner of his own. And here's the second way a gold coin card can be used. Player 1 pulls a card and plays a monk, which has a coin value of 3, and because player 2 remembers he has a gold coin card with the number 3, he immediately places it on top of the monk. If you are unlucky or have forgotten the cards you have in your possession, you might play a wrong card. Player 4 plays a king. Player 3 believes he has a king, but unfortunately, it was a mistake. And as a consequence of that, he has to take back the card and receive another card from the pile as a punishment. The bishop is a good card because it allows you to take a peek of one of your cards. Player 2 plays a queen, followed by player 3, who picks up a king and plays a bishop. This allows him to take a peek at one of his cards, in this case another king, a useful knowledge for this player. The Plague and the Executioner are two different cards, but they can be used in the same situation. Player 4 plays the Plague. When this happens, the Plague is shuffled into the pile and player 4 gives two cards from the pile to an opponent, or might prefer to give a single card to two opponents instead. In this case, he gives both the cards to player 2, presumably because player 2 only has a few cards left. Player 2 then remembers that he has an executioner, which can challenge one of the cards. Then the executioner and the challenged card are shuffled into the pile. We have now come to a point in the game where all the players have certain knowledge of their cards. Maybe one will dare to call an end to the game by saying the word Pest. And that is exactly what happens for player 1. He calls Pest and is allowed to draw for one last time. The rest of the players also draw one last time each. Some of them with no luck, and some of them with a little more luck. As it turns out in the end, player 1 did not end up with the lowest coin value when all his cards were added together. Instead, player 4 ended up with 2 points, followed by player 3 with 4 points. However, these points are not final because player 3 and 4 must battle each other in a duel. The other players also have to duel, but as both players in this game ended up with 9 points, they needn't bother. The winner of a duel gets the lowest points of those at stake, and the eventual winner, when, for instance, 5 rounds have been played, is the player with the fewest points. If you are confused about the duels, then watch the video with the instructions for the card game duels on Braavalla, the card game duels. Also check out the other Braavalla game, Higher Lower. I hope you had fun and that you will enjoy all the Braavalla games.